In today's brief video, I want to share with you guys 5 realizations that I had when it came to quitting smoking weed. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a bonus tip that should make the process of quitting a heck of a lot easier. If you're new to the channel, my name's Dr. Frank. I'm the founder of Addiction Mindset Recovery Coaching Programs, which are dedicated to helping people quit nicotine, THC, energy drinks, and adult media content. Before I jump into this video, real quick, if you check out the pinned comment or the video description, you can find more resources there. I have a free course on quitting, and I have an addiction mindset accountability group where you can meet other community members who are trying to quit nicotine, THC, energy drinks, and adult media content. All right, guys, let's jump right into it. So the first realization that I had was that quitting weed was the right decision for me, even though at one point in my life, weed was a benefit. And the realization was really that something that was once good was now bad for me. And what I had to come to understand was that as my life circumstances changed, so did my relationship with cannabis. And trying to force weed into part of my current day-to-day life, my current circumstances, was a really, really bad idea. And it was making my life significantly more anxiety provoking, more depressing, more financially challenging, more physically challenging from a physical health standpoint. It was making my life harder. And realizing that something that was once good can possibly become bad depending on your life circumstances was really, really eye opening for me. The second realization that I had after quitting weed was that there's a lot of people out there, guys, who don't drink, they don't smoke weed, they don't do any drugs, and they're pretty happy people. They're happy in their relationships, they're happy with their careers, their jobs, their businesses, whatever it may be, and they're happy, balanced, stable people out there. And that was really what I always wanted to be. I wanted to be a happy, balanced, stable person. Now, I'm definitely not balanced. I'm definitely a lot happier than I once was. And I don't know if I'm stable yet, but I'm certainly a lot closer to that. I was always under the impression, especially when we view things on social media, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, that I had to have this fast paced lifestyle. And with that lifestyle typically came nicotine, weed, adult media content, alcohol, whatever it may be. And getting to know people on a professional level that were older than me, I started to realize, wow, like there's people out there that exist that are just content with what life has given them and what they've created from life too, And that was really important to me because there was points throughout my addiction where I didn't ever believe that I could be happy sober, even though I was miserably depressed while I was addicted. But that's what addiction does to us. It blinds us to that while we're using a drug. And the other aspect of this realization was that what applies to one person doesn't need to apply to me. And I use the Joe Rogan example a lot. Just because he smokes weed and he has, the number one podcast in the world doesn't mean that if Dr. Frank smokes weed, he's going to have the number one podcast in the world. And I want to tell you guys this. I think the number of people that are truly successful on a large scale in multiple areas of their life, a majority of them don't use drugs, guys. I'm being honest with you. We see the ones that do on social media. Very, very common to see that. But you're taking a really small percentage of people whom that has worked out for, whom that has worked into their benefit, right? And you're comparing that to your life, and I think that's a really bad idea. And that was a really big mistake that I used to make. Now, look, Joe Rogan might smoke weed for recreational and medicinal purposes, and it might be a massive benefit to him. And that's okay because what applies to one person doesn't necessarily need to apply to me. So I think it's very important to realize that there's happy people out there who don't smoke weed, don't drink alcohol, don't do drugs. And there's a possibility you're one of those people. You just have to give yourself the opportunity to find out. The third realization that I had was that there's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days. There's times when I'm going to be happy and there's times when I'm going to be sad. And this is normal. I think a lot of my addiction was running from feelings of sadness, running from feelings of depression, running from feelings of anxiety. And I'll be, disclaimer, I was never like seriously low depressed. I didn't experience that. So, for those that do, obviously get the appropriate help for that. But I I was constantly, oh my God, I feel anxious. I can't feel anxious. I gotta smoke. Oh my God, I feel depressed. I can't feel depressed. I gotta smoke. Oh, I feel stressed. I gotta smoke. And what I've come to realize in my sobriety is there's gonna be days where I'm stressed. There's gonna be days where I'm not stressed, irrelevant of weed. There's gonna be days where I'm happy. There's gonna be days where I'm sad, irrelevant of weed. This truly is life. Now, I do try and take actions that predict a better tomorrow and a better future for myself. I try and take actions that predict happier days and less stressful days, right? Creating a YouTube channel and creating the Addiction Mindset Recovery Coaching business is setting me up for a better future financially, right? And it's something that gives me a ton of joy to do, helping people quit addictions. It's awesome. And that makes for less stress, right? A job that I enjoy doing that's setting me up for a better financial future that I enjoy doing, right? So I try and take actions nowadays that predict better outcomes for me tomorrow. So do I smoke weed tonight before bed, or do I read a book, go to bed early, wake up, work out the next day and eat healthy and go play golf all afternoon? Tomorrow's Father's Day, so I'll be golfing with my dad, right? I take actions that predict a better tomorrow. The fourth thing that I learned was that if you don't value your time, people aren't going to value you. And how you value your time will determine how much value people place on you and your time going forward in the future. When I really didn't value my use of time, smoking a lot of weed, not working on things that needed to be worked on, things that needed to get done, people didn't value my time. In my business life, I wasn't paid accordingly, right? And I'll be honest, I was kind of a pushover. Now, some of that had to do with just being a nice person in general and not speaking up for oneself. But a lot of that had to do with the fact that I didn't respect my own use of my time. So why would I have any expectation that someone else would? And that was maybe one of the most eye-opening realizations that I had when I quit smoking weed. The more I began to value my time, the more people started to value my time and respect my time. The next thing that I learned, the fifth thing, is that your friends change. And for me, I quickly realized that people that I would only see and the only thing we had in common was smoking weed, I'm going to be honest, years later, now those friendships have dissolved. I still have my core group of friends that I used to smoke weed with, who a majority of whom don't smoke weed anymore. But that group was good because beyond the weed, there was a lot more to our friendship, right? There was a lot more to it. These people are like family to me. But the kind of superficial friendships, even some that I thought were pretty real, right? Turned out not to be. And that was something that I realized as I changed, my social circles changed. As I changed, my friend groups changed. And that's okay. It's okay to change things. And one of my favorite quotes, Dan Pena, I've heard say it before, a wild, ignorant man. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And I really think that holds true. And nowadays I surround myself by people who have similar goals, similar intentions, similar things that they're looking forward to that I do in life. And my bonus tip for you guys and this is probably the biggest realization I had, is that making a decision is much easier than not making a decision. So I'm going to smoke, I'm not going to smoke. I'm going to quit for a few days, I'm not going to quit for a few days. For me, I realized making the decision to quit and be done with weed was much easier than constantly putting myself through this back and forth. I'm smoking, I'm not smoking. I'm going to quit, I'm not going to quit. Blah, 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 blah. Making a decision and committing to a decision that you've made, I think, even though it comes with plenty of challenges, is much more doable than being wishy washy and not making up one's mind. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would love to hear in the comments what realizations you've had about cannabis and about life in the comments below. And if you want to continue these discussions on a deeper level, check out our Addiction Mindset Accountability community. I just launched this thing and we have some really exciting things ahead for this private group. Check the pinned comment or the video description. I'll see you guys in the comments section.